This is Trend Following Radio, where great thinking comes alive. Nobel Prize winners, legendary traders, best-selling authors, and the pros that know what drive us irrational human beings. I am your host, Michael Covel. Not filtered, raw, honest. That's my passion. One of the more interesting experiences that I had in 2013 was presenting to the Sovereign Wealth Fund, essentially the government investing arms for government money for Singapore and Malaysia. Very interesting. Mostly value-based guys and gals, men and women were equally represented in these boardrooms. And they wanted to hear about trend following, systematic trading, black swans, ways that they could benefit when the inevitable something down happens for the long-only style investors. Now, one of the most powerful, and you might be saying to yourself, Mike, what does this have to do with me? I'm just an individual retail investor, or I'm a small IRA. Patience. One of the more interesting sovereign wealth funds is the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. It's the sovereign wealth fund. It's owned by the Emirate of Abu Dhabi in the UAE, United Arab Emirates. They have, it's not reported officially, no one really knows for sure, somewhere north of 500 billion in assets. I've seen ranges over 600 billion. I've seen ranges over 800 billion. Now, one of the more interesting things about the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority is that for decades, they have allocated money, given their money to trend-following traders to trade it. They've been doing this for decades. Some of the biggest names that I've talked about in my world have received allocations for decades from the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. They got it. They get it, and have for a very long time. So this small little Arab nation with a ton of money, ton of success, has understood trend following trading for a long time. Now, I came out on Twitter and I said, well, is the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority the largest systematic trend following trader in the world? Well, several people quickly responded with retorts. Some said, well, I looked at their website. They're just index investors. And somebody else who I respect said, by the way, I know the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority spends assets to receive astrological investing advice. Both of those might be true. I don't know. I really don't care. I do know, however, that if you have possibly 800 billion in assets and you only put 10% towards trend following, that's a lot of money. So they very well likely could be a massive index trader, but if they only put 10% of their assets at trend following, that could make them the largest, essentially, trend following trader in the world. Now, here's where it gets a little interesting. For the longest time, I've gone ahead and I've used public trend following performance records to help show and teach others about the success of this strategy, trend following. You can see it in all my books. Here's the performance track records. Well, something interesting has happened in the last couple years. Assets from some trend following traders have dropped. And this is not performance related. This is a silent magic hand taking assets away. Interesting. Many of these assets that have been removed from the system, so to speak, more than likely are assets from the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. They have taken assets away from many trend following traders, and it's not necessarily performance related. It's fees related. At least this is my theory. So what are they doing? Does this mean there's less assets trading as trend following traders? No. It just means the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority has brought this in-house. It means that after years and years and years, decades, of allocating to trend following traders. It appears they now do this in-house. And why not? If you allocate to many great traders over the years, you essentially learn what they're doing by seeing the trades. Why not do it yourself and save the fees? Now, you still might be sitting back and saying to yourself, Mike, this sounds like inside baseball. Why is this related to me? I'm just a retail trader. I'm an RIA. I don't care. Well, you should care. Follow the money. What's going on? Because if a great deal of trend following assets were controlled by one sovereign wealth fund, and they have decided to kind of pull back some to allocating to many of the traders, well, that doesn't mean that trend following has gone away. It doesn't mean trend following has been hurt. It just means that one of the biggest participants in trend following has decided to make more money by doing it themselves. It also means that there could be less and less opportunity to learn ongoing in the future from public performance track records of trend following managers. Because if some of the biggest allocators, the people that give their money out to be traded by trend following traders, if they've decided to do it in-house and they don't have to report, it's going to be harder and harder to see, oh, wow, I can learn what happened during this time period. Oh, a market took a dip here. An equity long-only strategy took a dip here. Oh, what did the trend following traders do? This is why it's going to be so terribly important in the future for some of the trend following traders that frankly have their own oxygen to breathe, that can stand on their own two legs, that have assets to trade, are going to be very important. Because they will be the ones that tell us, that show us. I mean, look, I can do it from my own account, which I do. You can do it for your own account, which I hope you do. But it's nice to see those track records that go back to the 1970s even. And to have the confidence to follow along how these strategies have unfolded. So what's the long and short of this? The long and short of this is that trend following is probably going the direction of where there's going to be less and less public information about its success. Because the individuals that know it's a great trading strategy have decided, why let everyone else know? Let's keep this a secret. Let's keep this under wraps. Let's just do this in-house with our own funds and not tell anybody how much money we're making. And I can see this being my challenge in the years to come, is getting people to understand how these changes take place. Assets don't leave trend following. They just go silent. They just disappear. They go off the grid, so to speak. That just leaves the average investor out there listening to the inane propaganda that propagates across the airwaves of CNN and Fox News. Let me interject here to give you an idea of some of that propaganda and why this conversation about talking about the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, perhaps doing trend following in-house, is so important. Consider the propaganda. I'm in the States right now. I'm in the Washington, D.C. area. I saw my father. He handed me a brochure that he received in the mail from American Express. I posted this on my Facebook. At the top, it talked about high yield returns. And then it was promoting what it was classifying as high yield, 0.85%. Not even 1%. And American Express is putting that out there with a straight face as high yield. That's the kind of nonsense that when you don't have the ability to look at and see the performance track records and be inspired. And because look, when I've used the performance track records over the years of many of frankly, the market wizards, long-standing professional trend following traders, not because I'm trying to necessarily promote them, I'm using it as a way to show and teach people the efficacy of trend following trading. And so the track records are just great ways to teach. Clearly, all the colorful stories in my books are also great ways to learn. But I always say this, the foundation of my books, the foundation of my work was ultimately the public track records of the legends going back decades. Trading significant amounts of money. And if the people that gave those traders significant amounts of money decide to do it in-house and not tell anybody what they're doing anymore, we all lose an invaluable way to learn. Does that mean trend following is dead, like some enterprising reporters like to write every 5 years? Of course not. But it does say that as the matrix gets more tight, as the propaganda flows even greater, you're going to have to keep your eyes open as to how the world really works. And it's going to be harder and harder, and you're going to have to pay more attention. Or you can just dial out, flip on CNN, flip on Fox News, and read the American Express flyers that come in the mail talking about high yield returns of 0.85%. The choice is yours. I think I'm making my point. It's slightly complicated. Here I am talking about the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. I'm talking about the American Express flyers that come in the mail. But ultimately, this is about transparency. And transparency has been great to teach and to educate about trend following trading. And I suspect for the decades to come, there will still be some old pros out there that have enough oxygen to breathe, that will still be there doing their thing because they've made enough money and they can trade their own money and will still be able to see it. Those decades and decades of performance histories that are so inspiring. But things are changing. And I'm sure I'll be talking about the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority quite a bit in the years to come. So as we head into 2014, I suspect I will be based in Asia for 2014 for the better part of the year. Some housekeeping. I am aiming to put together a trend following conference for the second half of 2014 in Singapore. If you're interested, email me. My email, real simple, michael@covel.com. My first name at my last name.com. Number 2, and I've had several people help me with this over the course of 2013. I love podcast guest leads. If you think you know somebody or have an idea or you have a lead or a contact of what you might perceive as a great guest to be on my show, once again, email me. Let me know. I mean, for example, and this is just one example over the course of 2013, Clint Stevens helped me land several guests. He just reached out and said, hey, you want to appear on Mike's show? They said yes. Very noteworthy people. Boom. Now, look, I have no problem landing guests. I think I have 6, I'm counting in my head, 5 or 6 people in the first 10 days of January 2014. But I love having the insights and the good ideas from other people. So reach out. Let me know. Lastly, this is the ugly operations part. I guess it's not ugly, but it's the operations part that I forget to do that I know helps the podcast. If you like my podcast, and since it's damn well free, please go to iTunes, spend 2 seconds, and write a review. You can either say, Michael Covel is awful. He's the devil incarnate. I want to dispose of him. Or you can sing some praises. But go to iTunes and write a review, please. In fact, if you write a review, I promise you that I will send you a bit of research that's interesting in the trend following space. So go do your duty. Like I said, if it's all 1-star stuff, this guy Covel's the devil, you can write that. That's fine. But go there and put forth the opinion. iTunes reviews. So 2013 was a great experience for me. I'm sure 2014 will be another great experience. And if I can give any inspiration to those that listen, get up and change your environment. If you're feeling stale, if you're feeling like, wow, this is the same old shit, stop. Just stop and do something different. The sheer act of stopping the shit and doing something different energizes you. It makes you alive. And damn well, man, this decrepit dying stuff, if you're gonna die and we're all gonna die, then let's go out kicking and screaming, right? None of this slow burn stuff. Let's make it fun. And for those of you out there, even if you can't make the specific date of the trend following conference that I'm working toward, swing by Asia. Dinner, lunch, let's go. Let's make it happen. If you've never been, let's go. Come on. What have you got to lose? Get up, move it, make it happen. I want to wish everyone a happy new year. And I will see you with fresh guests in January 2014.
I see a time when those awake will understand how to make money in up, down, and surprise markets. Whether new trader or experienced, college student or financial advisor, protecting against a crash or just trying to make a lot of money, trend following offers everyone an answer in uncertain times. To get started immediately, send me an email, michael@covel.com. I will send you the right trend following steps to take along with my free video. But if you want to buy and hold, trust the government and trust Wall Street, this is absolutely not for you.